Alright. Let's get that one in. Let's see. Same thing on this side. I know I've got a 7mm driver in here that'll make my life a lot easier. Alright, now can get to business. I'm going to double check the front too, just to make sure everything's tight. I was using that little T-handle deal. This little guy, they come in handy, don't get me wrong, but wow, it's a little harsh on the fingers. There we go. Man, I am getting this grease everywhere. Didn't think about that. That's alright. So those are in place. Now, to the rear assembly, it wants me to do the sway bar. 2.1mm. I wasn't in the same bag, so baggy. Baggy, and we have some control arms. Yeah, they still haven't even updated this. So these little guys are right here. That little guy right there is plastic. And it holds the sway bar in. So Shannon, get metal ones. Metal will save you a lot of headache because the plastic don't hold up. They have 2 spots where you can put 2 set screws into it, but they eventually work their way loose and then they slide around. And after a while, that gets old. Oh, wow. Should have not have done that. Man, I cut the hell out of my pit mat. Okay. Well, good news is it's rubber. You know what else is rubber? RC tires. You know what holds them on? Some really hellacious glue. So we'll just just like that. Put a little dab there. Wipe her clean like it never even happened. Glad that wasn't my finger, dude. Like, had a close one, kind of. Yeah, I'm gonna do a different method on that. really feel like getting stitches today. Get these cut out. Let them run wild a little bit. Trim the excess off, just like so. Don't want this interfering with anything and causing suspension binding. All right. Looking a lot better. Getting some of that leftover mold, mold. I said mold. My brain went to like mold that grows on something that gets wet or something like that. I don't know why. One of them squirrel moments. The hard squirrel moments. Alright. That's done. RC Targly, you better freaking work on my mat. Shouldn't have done that. I cut the hell out of it. Okay. Can I go ahead and just do the A-arms? And then I can build the rest of that stuff. I don't want to... Okay, these need to go in there. Top little piece over there. Let's see. So that pops in. These are the plastic. Well, just throw it on the floor, Zach. Okay. These are the plastic little bushings that go inside this, which you can upgrade them to bearings and it will help. I didn't. I kept them plastic. And I just changed. Well, there's those. Oh, yeah, here we go. Like I said, I just changed these other pieces. The pieces that actually stop it here and here, side to side, is what I changed. I'll give you a close-up of that here in a minute. I just want to double check. Let's see, we have a 1445. That's going to be holding that on. Oh, yeah. So the two smaller screws. It don't even want me to. You know, that's another thing. This kit did not come with. Oh, yeah, it did too. Okay, I see. I'm not worried with that. Yeah, they came with a center screw that's just temporary until you get it done. I'm going to do it without it this go around. I did it the first time I built mine, but how many times I've had that thing apart, it's really not that hard to do without it. Alright, so this is the one that goes up front. That's the longer little guys. Okay. Good deal. So, I know this block can take risk. It's a pretty snug fit. It should hold. I'm going to just do the hinge pins and get the control arms on there. Start with that. Go ahead and just have everything in place. Yeah, that's pretty good, so I don't think that's going to come out. I'm not going to do the temporary bolt. Now, let's get to this sway bar. Depending on your track conditions or what's going on that day, kind of really determines your sway bar. I did go to a 2.3 rear sway bar on mine, but if it's really loose out, you can go with this 2.1 or even lower than that, 2.0 all the way into the 1 point whatevers, but so forth and so on. It just kind of determines what's going on at the track. This, for a start, good reference point. So these are the little guys I was telling you about that I went to aluminum. Aluminum's just way better of an option. The set screw, you can Loctite it and it ain't gonna go anywhere, and they actually stay put. One thing that I really wish they would have changed in the kit, but that's okay. Pop all this into place. Oh man, that is not wanting to budge. Good Lord, that hurt. Okay, I don't know why you're being so stubborn, but that's about to change. What is your deal? There you go. Get on there. Alright, these are for them right there. So, gonna go ahead and just kind of get ahead of the game. Sink this in. You know what's funny? One thing I do notice is they included, if you can see right here, 4 set screws. Wait a minute, no. Okay. Yeah, never mind. Never mind. I'll take that back. Because see, even these right here. So you have threads there. If you flip it over 180 degrees, you can see there's another set of threads. So you could double clamp it if you really wanted to. You don't have to on the aluminum. But these plastic ones, even doubling them up didn't really help me any. So I'm not gonna worry about it on this truck. He does need to go with aluminum. It's just gonna, either way, it's gonna be a headache trying to fight both of them. One or two, it's gonna be a headache. These are because they go back towards here. Yeah. That would be correct. Okay. The sway bar. Man. Let me just that. What type the set screw? So on these, I'm putting the sway bar flush with the end of the linkage here. And I'll show y'all here in a second. I know it's probably kind of hard to see. Just a better leverage point. And you can also change the position of like how far you want this to set onto the sway bar to stiffen it. Just get that fine tune in it. But for what I'm doing, when everybody else is doing with the truck, the further out being flush with the actual pivot point of this ball is just fine. I'll show you what I'm talking about. So that bar right there, it's flush to the end of this. So it's, you can fine tune it and get further in, you know, if you wanted to, but no need really. No need. Alright, still getting grease everywhere. That's okay. And I forgot to do this. Pull that out real quick. There you are. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and Loctite these, even though they're going into plastic. It might help keep things a little on the tight side, but I still don't know if this is going to help. Put a little bit more on that. Okay. Dude, super smooth. Let's see. Trying to make sure that this is going to set even, so I'm actually going to back this up a little bit. Alright, there we go. Looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. Okay, so all that's done. Really, this could go ahead and be mounted onto the chassis, but I'm just going to hold off for now. So now these screws, which are your droop screws, go at the bottom of the A-arm. And I will go ahead and tell you, with these trucks, run full droop. Do yourself a favor. Run full droop. But I hit the jump wrong, landed. It kind of cornered in and then spun around this way. And because the A-arm didn't really have enough travel or anywhere else to go, I busted it along the side of this where the hinge pin is. Like this main hinge point cracked open. And when I started running full droop, I didn't break another A-arm after that. Plus, the truck handles way better. Way better. Now, if you're in some high traction areas, you could probably lower it down and get away with it there. But if you're into some loose, just your typical clay track, especially running short course, you want that chassis roll. You want to be able to have this thing move a little bit. But me, I haven't changed them ever since then. The truck performs way better with full droop. Okay. Then we're done. Wants me to build that. Alright, yeah. So with these washers going to the hub here, or this back knuckle, they give you a couple of shims. And what I do is I do a thin and a thick, and I shorten the wheelbase. Yes, you lose traction in the rear, but your cornering is better. We race on tight tracks. It jumps a little bit better because of just the style of jumps that we have. They're really short. There's not a lot of surface area, so being a little bit shorter wheelbase helps with that, and the turns being such a tight track. That's what I run. I'm sure when I get to the bigger tracks or anything in that nature, I'll probably extend the wheelbase, putting more bite in the ass end of this thing. All right. Bag F. Yep. Bag F. Okay. I'm hoping to get pretty far on this before I have to be a responsible adult and get ready for work tomorrow. Hoping to get really far. I want to get at least to the damn front end of this thing. I don't want to have to pull late one. Work 10 hours, come back, and then start on it. Oh, so these don't really have a left and a right. I forgot about that. They can go either way. Man, I love Tekno. What a truck. What a truck. Let's get the rest of the stuff opened up. And I thought about going to e-buggy, which I would keep my short course. Obviously, I would not get rid of it. But if I do e-buggy, what would y'all recommend? Where's all my e-buggy guys at? What brand would you recommend? Because I'm looking, obviously I want to stay with Tekno, but I wouldn't mind to check out a couple other brands and see what's going on out there and weigh my options. I know they do the, Tekno has the e-buggy that is very similar to this platform. It's the same, it's the EB48 2.2 or 2.0, I can't remember off the top of my head, but I've been looking at them here and there. Thought about it a couple times. A little steep on the price, but I understand why. Alright, CVs. Pop you into place. Oh yeah, I forgot. I gotta tie rods. Tie rods. Oh, man. Okay. See, and I wish that hole was bigger for this. Let's see if I can't pop it in like that. Alright. Needle nose. Oh, needle nose. Came in clutch. Because these, yep, are for where they go to the shock tower. Not bad, not bad. Oh, get in there. And I'll figure out which way they'll need to face in a minute. Pop this in. Am I not going to be able to use these? I'm probably going to have to drill that out. Yeah, it's going to become a problem. They're just that hole's just too small. I really do not like doing that. Oh, come on. There we go. Got it to take, but man, was that a little on the rough side. We'll have to figure out a different method with that. Okay, so a thick and a thin. A thick, so. Go ahead. Get our pins in. A little bit more Loctite. Yeah, it's pretty good. I want to double check and make sure this is seated all the way down. And it feels like it is. So Go ahead and run it down pretty tight. Get that access Loctite off there. Don't really want anything gumming up. Sorry, I pulled it so close to me. It was a little bit difficult getting all that together. So we're going to shorten the wheelbase. I want to double check and make sure that I want to be able to do a thick and a thin. Alright, like so. Got our other hinge pin in there. And I probably won't make it to the front today on this, sadly, but because I know the front, it has a lot. There's a lot to build on the front. Okay, so now that's all tight in there. We'll just set a new goal. If I can get the back mounted to the chassis, that would be good. That'd be good. I think I could handle that. So thick. And a thin. I'm going to go ahead and get that in place. Got our two drivers here. Ooh, did I go? I did. I went opposite. Hang on just a second. We do not want that. Always make sure to double check your work. Cause it ain't hard to get carried away, and the next thing you know, something's crooked. So I did do something off camera, and it was really loud. I used a Dremel for the fins back here, but the whole process of cutting this thing out while my camera was charging, trust me, y'all didn't miss much. So still moving forward while waiting on that to charge so I can get back to this and get everything where it needs to be. My Dremel bits here. Oh, ow. Okay. Put them up. Right there's good. The hobby room's a mess from this whole entire build. Alright. Let's double check what we have going on. Everything's smooth from where we left off. Oh man. So the right hand side's going to go there. We're going to go ahead and pop some bearings in. And another thing I need to get for the GoPro is a little block charger that I can charge the batteries, not having to charge them through the GoPro itself. So when I'm recording, the batteries can be charging. I can rotate out. It just makes this process a lot easier. A lot easier. Okay, this can go ahead and slide in there. And then that's what I thought. But why is it like that? Okay, so yeah, short side is up. Sure. That's right. Now I see. Nothing wants to stay in place. Okay. Probably easier to put the tie rods in to where this ain't fumbling around. But I like a good challenge, so we're just going to go ahead and continue with this on its side because I can manipulate it. Alright, I want to do the flat side this way. And then use the pin. Getting this all dialed in here. Okay. And then now the longer one. So there's a short and a long. The long goes at the bottom. Short goes to the top. Actually just did a CV repair last weekend, so this is still fresh on the mind. It's pretty easy to to do now. Alright, then we're in place. I'll put you like that. So I'm going to go ahead and build the tie rod for this side so it ain't over there flopping around. And I can just jump right in to the left. That is the plan. So actually, hang on, is this? Because yes, I get it, you want me to build that first, but I'm going to hold off on that. These tie rods are the exact same. Or are they? No, they're not. They're different. Okay. So I do have one taller than the other. Here we are. So now I need to figure out which is which. I imagine longer side ain't gonna fit, so we'll just do this because I'm not. Okay, yeah. So that is that. Alright, makes more sense. Let's pop this in place if it'll allow me to do it. I wish this tool was more... Okay, well, it worked on that one, surprisingly. And then now the longer one. Oh, God, it's hard for me to get them to push all the way in. Because like I said, I'm a mechanic by trade. And my hands are always sore. Every day. Never fails. Alright, so now, so the right side. Why don't y'all give a parts list on this? Why are you wanting me to guess? What am I building? Camber links, and then the tie rods are different. I get that. So it's a 53. That is a 52. So the one that fits in here, which is not this one, is this guy. Is going to have the line closer to it. Kind of have to read between the lines in this one. Pretty much find a reference point and then be like, okay, that's what we have. Oh, look at you. Twist not the right way. Alright, this is going in the vise. No, quit doing that, man. That's why I put you in there. Alright. Now for the longer one. This one will be for the left. I was going to end up miking these, but for how easy it's actually to size these up, I'm not going to. I might double check them with the mic once the truck is built and then change if needed. And I am close. Which I'm going to double check the camber and everything once the wheels and tires are on this vehicle. I am very close. Alright, so this is the left side. left. Left side, and then now the right side wants the line pointed in a little bit different direction. Get the vise over here again. This time I'm just going to build it with the eyelets out of it, just to where I can make sure to get the placement on those right. And use a bigger driver to run it down. What are you doing, buddy? You being a little visitor, checking in on me? Yeah. Now you gotta inspect this truck when I'm done building it. Make sure I've got everything the right way. I don't need anything going wrong with this vehicle, so you'll have to be the inspector. That's your job. And I try to count the threads to keep everything even both sides, so when I do go and adjust it, or to adjust it, if I have to go all the way in or all the way out, which I won't, but it makes this even all the way through. Doesn't matter what adjustment you do, it's going to be even at all times, and that is very important. So with this being pointed that way, that means it's going to be, yeah, okay. But can I get this to work? Ooh, look at that. Went right in. Alright. So now, got a couple of these. We're going to go in through the front, but it does want it to go in the top hole. It says A, and I was thinking of A hole. That's funny. That is funny. Yep. Got my mind in the gutter here. Don't claim to be perfect. Don't really plan on it neither. Nope. Okay, what is your problem? That's why I just dropped you, because it's like, alright, you're gonna fight me and keep fighting me and not do right. Oh, God. What is your problem? Just line up. All right. There is a washer with this. Oh man, they wanted a washer in front of this as well. Of course. Should have looked at the instructions. Always double check your work. And, yeah, okay. Should have never put these washers in my little parts bin or hardware bin. It makes it hard to get a hold of them unless you have a magnet or something. Alright. Slide on up in there. Okay. And this, it's going to go through here, right? No. Wrong. Let's double check what we have. So the bolt goes through the front. This goes through the rear. We're going to go into the third slot. Put our washer there. Sink that in. Get her nut. See, I don't think this is right. I'm about to just double check this. What did I do wrong? So yes, them are tilted back. And that is the front. Then what did I do? I see what I did wrong. Makes a lot more sense. So a little undo here. Easy fix. It happens. I was so exhausted yesterday pushing through this. Alright, easy fix, easy fix. Now we can continue. That looks so much better. Then put that in. Alright, pin, go over there. Quit rolling. Little runaways. go ahead and have that set. Now I'm going to slide this in, get this axle shaft going here, do my 2 bearings again. Now I'll work with me, y'all. I'm trying to push to get this done, show it to y'all for fun, get used to being in front of the camera. That's really why I'm doing this. On top of trying to get it done before Saturday, and today's Tuesday, but I'll work 4 10s and I've got a lot more planned than this, all crammed into 1 week. So I'm pushing. I am pushing. Okay, so let's pull this out, because I'm not gonna sit there and fight it if I don't want to go. Put that back in, short on top. Small driver, right? No. Go ahead and take our pliers, actually a flathead. There we go. So I need another pin. Looking for my other pin. Please don't be lost. Bet it's stuck to something. I'm hoping I didn't sling it in the floor. It's been known to happen, because some of this stuff is magnetic. Can you watch out, buddy? I'm looking for an important piece. I know, I see you. I do, I see you, I see you. Okay. That's crazy. I thought I had everything right here. Alright, where is the longers? There it is. It's right next to that. Blending in. Blending in. Get that cameo Floyd. Alright, come on. There we go. Sink this in. Run it down, run it down.
So this is what I have so far. Check that out. So I still got to do this tie rod, or this camber link, my bad. But everything looks really good. It's coming together. Now, third slot. Get her knit. Just wanting to double check. Yeah, we are okay. I want to make sure that's tight. On my truck, I've actually lost one of these before, but it was in the back. It was crazy because these are self-locking nuts, and for it to just wiggle its way out of there, strange. But them are on there tight. These shouldn't go anywhere, but it's always good after a hard run to go back through, make sure you can check everything or whatever you can get the driver on. Make sure it's tight. Do a checkup, especially after a fresh build. Your first run maybe a battery pack or two, and then just go back through, double check everything, and then should be good after that. But that's part of maintenance anyway, so gotta do what you gotta do. Alright, all this is built. And I remember this part. Oh no. I forgot all about that. That is not going to be fun. It's all. So I've got to build the Ackerman and the steering servo, or the servo saver. And that spring is super stiff. But I do have a 17mm driver here that I can hold the nut with and force it on. I'm about to give my fingers a true workout. But before I stress my fingers out, I'm going to deal with these little bitty pins and get the wheel hexes on there. So it's just complete and out of the way. Okay, come on. Drop in place for me.
Make sure all that's tight. Put the rear there. Try to get some of this excess off. Alright, so that actually helps by a load. Alright, so now here's the front and the rear. We are getting closer. We got little butterflies. Little butterflies. Whatever the hell you want to call them. And a butterfly their ass right the hell over there and chill. Because this next part is about to be fun. Extremely fun. Just because that spring. That spring is the dread of this whole bag. And we are on bag I. Yeah, it's I. See, and this truck was supposed to come in at or on Saturday, and if it did, then I would have been able to get a lot further than what I'm able to do each day during the week, Monday through Friday. So piecing this thing together slowly throughout the week has been crazy because I'm pushing to get as much done. And then now having to charge the camera without a separate charging station and having to use the GoPro itself. That's a little bit of a pain. That's a pain, but that's okay. Because either way it goes, we're going to get through this. Alright, so we got the tube. We want the tube to go through. We want it to go through something. Okay, this is what we want it to go through. Wow, look at there. And then you can just plop back up in there. And then, because if that's facing that way, we're going to want this side to be facing this way. Oh man, look at that. That is nice. Okay. That is nice. Now it's going to get a little harder. So since we have this, we're going to put this O-ring right in there, just like so. Got the O-ring inside this main nut. Got the spring right here, so I'm going to try to make things easier on myself and just dab a little bit of grease on the beginning of this. Manual doesn't call for it, at least that I can remember. It might actually. Back off 2 turns. Okay, that's not a problem. I can do that. Say that, but it's gonna be it's gonna be interesting. All right, because I have to compress that spring that much before I can even start threading this guy. But since I have my table here and this nut driver, oh yeah, I forgot. That's, wait, no. That should fit. Why isn't it though? Oh, it does. Okay. Good deal. So the grease definitely made it easier.
And they want you to run it all the way down just until it stops, and then back it off 2 turns. Let's double check ourselves here. So we have the piece turning in and this right there. That's exactly what they want. Okay, well this was a lot harder the first time I did it. Wish it went this smooth the first time I did it. Oh my God. This is what's up. Okay, so half 1, half 2. So that right there, that ain't going anywhere. That's locked down. If you mess up and then it actuates this, you got a broke servo. But they include this. This is pretty much locked down, but they include this just in case you want to loosen it up and try to protect your servo. Me personally, I use Perfect Pass servos, and they're very stout and they're everything that they're made out to be. Keep that in mind. Alright, got some bearings here. Let's go ahead and pop some of these into place. Yeah. And they're kind of loose. They're not extremely taut, but if they fall out, it's alright. Let's pop them back in. We still got to mount the pieces on the chassis. That's going to be on the next page.